They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I'm having nightmares right now.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bed Bath & Beyond. Nothing says football like scented soap.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, big man, getting us started on a beautiful Monday, a Mocama Beer Company Monday, as we welcome you to XL Primetime. And guess what? We are in the land of Mocama. I will tell you what Mocama means as we go throughout the day today, but know this, they are holed up in Nassau County, beautiful Fernandina Beach, and we are on the island, Amelia Island, as we are cranking out from the ACC spring meetings. And so Mocama is right there on South 8th Street, so any of you ACC spring meetings people that might want to go enjoy a brewery, you can do it right there at Mocama. Now, they also have their Wildlight location, so we'll be bragging on both of them as we go along today. But we are set up inside the beautiful Ritz-Carlton, and the ACC spring meeting, it is gorgeous. Look, when you guys come driving up, it is gorgeous. I'm not...
Listen, tone it down.
Yeah, I got to be loud.
That's right. We're in timeout.
I got to be loud and proud.
Library.
You know that.
Got your library card, man.
You know what? I'm just going to say this, okay? That your wife is a saint. That's all I can say.
I love her.
That's all I can say, man.
What are you insinuating?
That's all I can say.
I love her. That's for sure.
Considering what's happened in the last hour, she is TLD is awesome. That's all I can say.
All right, listen, we got so much to get into today.
Joe Cowart is a risk manager, okay? But things seem like they're going. He pulls through. Man. He pulls through, baby.
I'll sell you some insurance, whatever you need.
I'm just gonna make a long story short. On the drive over here, I looked at Leon and I said, I can guarantee you we're gonna be at the point where it's gonna be 1 minute to go, and then bang, all of a sudden we're set up, ready to go.
And I didn't disagree with you.
Yep, everything's beautiful.
Everything's good.
That is for sure. All right, listen, we've got so much to get into. Before we get into the AC spring meetings, and people may not realize this, it is a growing conference. Okay, I call it the Any Coast Conference, the All Coast Conference, and so they've welcomed the Cows of the world, the SMUs of the world. They have grown.
I don't know if you can say that loud right now. Okay,
yeah.
I think you got to go a little bit easy now, because you're going to get some dirty looks, because Coach Justin Wilcox just walked by. And
well, good. We want to get Justin Wilcox on.
He'd shoot you the one eye if you heard that.
Listen, that's the guy I want to get on. I want to be able to say hello to him and welcome him to the ACC, as it were. We got all sorts of them. Listen, I'm thinking Matt's operating in a little bit of a paranoid world right now.
A little bit.
He is, I think so, a little
After
bit.
the last hour, a little bit.
All right, listen, as things get rolling today, we're going to talk ACC football. We're going to talk college football in general, coming out of the spring game / spring portal. It's definitely worth talking about where some of these teams are situated. You college football fans out there absolutely love this. We're coming out of rookie minicamp. We got to hear from the head coach on Friday. We got to hear from a couple of the players over the course of those either Friday, and then, of course, it was closed off after that. But then also Ethan Waugh, who spoke on Friday as well. So we're going to get into all that stuff coming out of rookie minicamp. And then the association. Don't count the Joker out.
I know. That was my biggest take coming over the weekend. Listen, I'm the one that said it. When they went down 2-0, the way that the Timberwolves beat the Denver Nuggets over the last couple of weeks, I said this is a wrap. But listen, in order to be the champ, you got to be the champ.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Joker, listen, me and Matt was talking about this on the way over there. The Joker just said, you know what? Climb on this train. I'm going to take you home. He did. I mean.
He just said, I'm the Joker.
I'm the Joker. I'm the 3-time MVP right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a way to win this game, and they did.
And I got to give it to him because obviously he dominated, but there's one guy that stepped forward when they needed him the most. Jamal Murray, of course, but Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. The guy, he missed a bunch of shots, and then he hit a bunch of shots. Closed 11 of 12 on shooting. And so, it's a series. So that one's even up 2-2 after one team stole 2 in the other team's barn. That was Minnesota beating Denver at home, and then they lose 2 at home. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks and the officials of the NBA won the first 2 in the Garden. You get that?
Then look what happened.
Yeah, you get it. And then they went to Indiana, and Indiana says, you know what, we're going to show you what we probably should have been able to do in your barn, and they end up tying up the series.
Right, magically, they're both tied at 2.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Matt about this on the way over here when listen, I counted Denver Nuggets out when they were down 2-0, and everybody else that was in the media or said that the Nuggets were over. And I'm sure that coach. Okay, you did, Matt Hayes. All right.
Thank you.
Exclude yourself.
Because I was the guy saying you guys are out of your mind if you think
you're absolutely right. But listen, that coach had to use that thing as fuel because all of a sudden the Nuggets said, wait a minute, we're still the champs. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, we won the championship last year, and they put the beating on Minnesota the last couple of games. If Minnesota doesn't win Game 5, it's a wrap. It's absolutely wrap.
And here's the hard thing. Is now after you stole 2 from them and then they got even with you, you couldn't take advantage of that 2-game lead in your own arena. Well, it ain't going to be easy going back.
Well, that's why I thought, that movie Easy Rider, I think they thought that was going to be them after they went 2-0.
You might be right.
They were coming home and they felt good about themselves. They lost Game 3, lost Game 4. Now if they only win Game 5, it's a wrap.
Yeah, you might be right about that. And so you guys if you're a fan of the NBA, you're a fan of the postseason, definitely jump in. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 64110. 641-1010. If you are hanging out at the office, just hit the stream. Look at us, okay? We look good inside the Ritz-Carlton, one of the convention areas here at the Ritz-Carlton up on Amelia Island. You can log on YouTube and then search 1010XL, and you can kind of hang out with us. We hope that we'll get some coaches. Basically what it is, it's a free-for-all, and we don't know exactly when they're going to come in. But our man Ira Chaffel from War Chant, we chatted about this, and he said, you know what, Monday's probably not a bad strategy, Monday, Tuesday, and so we'll be up here today and tomorrow hanging out just to see what we can get. The official meetings begin at 3 o'clock. Correct. And so we're going to get an idea. There's going to be big, high-level meetings. And I posed the question to both of you guys. The ACC, it's brand new in a way, right, because they've invited schools in, and it's also at risk of exposure.
Well, I mean,
is that the best way to put it?
I mean, let's be honest. This might be the last spring meetings in Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, like if Florida State gets what it wants, and then opens the door for Clemson, North Carolina, and Miami, then you've got a complete jailbreak.
Yeah.
Then you've got teams trying to get out and trying to get into a bigger league with bigger leagues with more media rights money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the ACC is left with a group of 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there, 12 teams that really is kind of like the American Conference. Not that much better. So it's I should say this might be the last as we know it of this league.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what happens. I do know this. There's potential for some good teams to come out of the ACC this year, Miami being one of them. Mm-hmm. Clemson, if Cade Klubnik can figure it out, they can be in the college football playoff conversation. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with your Canes, but they look like they are poised to make something happen. In Florida State, we don't know what's going to happen with DJU. But if he does come out looking like a well-coached quarterback under Mike Norvell, heck, they got a lot of other good pieces.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, Miami, the hair's in the barn. Miami, everybody's been talking about Miami all freaking season long, about the recruiting, the portal, the quarterback. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's time to show and prove. You got to be that show pony. I mean, listen, I've been on the bandwagon the last couple of years because Mario and we played together, won national championships together at University of Miami. So I've been all in on it. But the byproduct of what, 5 and 7 and 7 and 5 just ain't good enough. Mm-hmm. And it's just not good enough. I mean,
Mario probably be the first guy to tell
you that
too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, this year's a big year with the schedule. The ACC schedule is a lot softer. I looked at the schedule. Listen, we talked about it last week. Listen, we're talking 10 to 11 wins. In my eyes, 10 to 11 wins was a disappointment.
Yeah, we had you 7-0 before you even blinked.
Exactly.
I was before you hesitated.
I was contemplating with Duke. That's the scary part. I can't say that too loud. You know that. Yeah. And I might get put out the loud.
And by the way, Miami's going to be a betting favorite in a lot of games. Yeah. So is FSU. Mm-hmm. FSU. And look, we could. I love the conference, but I clobber the conference at the same time.
Rightfully so.
Because there are a lot of gettable games. There aren't too many that hang in the balance based on what has happened. We're going to go through these either coaches' power rankings in the ACC or the quarterbacks or however you look at it. Mm-hmm. There needs to be that middle pack that's biting at the kneecaps, to steal Dan Campbell's phrase, biting at the kneecaps of the teams at the top, and there aren't enough of them right now.
I'll tell you one team that is, and it's Georgia Tech. And about when we get Ira on, Ira will say that Georgia Tech game is going to be a dogfight in the fourth quarter because you got a brand new quarterback at Florida State, you got a bunch of new transfers at Florida State. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be an easy game. You fly all the way out to Ireland for that game. That is not going to be an easy game.
Well, and the quarterback for Georgia Tech is coming back, even with a crick in his leg. He's coming back, Haynes King, who was at A&M.
Who by the end of last season was playing really well. Yeah.
He is a fun player to watch, and you Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech fans, I know you know what we're talking about, but they had to depart from the Paul Johnson way. Then they went through some bumps and bruises with Jeff Collins just to try and change the actual look of the offense. And then you get the basically the regime change again. When Key comes in, and he's got a chance to turn them in the right direction. And who knows if he will, but he definitely has an opportunity to come in. And at the very least, they were his record 9-6. Does that sound right, Matt? Just as far as because he took over. Yeah. Overall record, they're right at 500, 11-10, and Key 9-6 with his record. And so you got a chance if he can come in and at the very least make them bowl eligible, get the winning record, all that type of stuff. Then you're starting to build something. And those are the teams that got to get it done.
Jamal Haynes is a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
Avery Boyd, Eric Singleton, those are good receivers. It's not going to be an easy game for Florida State. And I know, we went over that schedule and we were all like, all right, 1-0, 2-0. But that game is going to be tough. It's a long trip out there to Ireland, obviously, and you've got a brand new quarterback. And we watched what he did in that spring game. It wasn't a pretty sight, to say the least.
Yeah, and look, Noles fans, you guys, you probably won't necessarily admit to the idea that you're worried about that particular game, but you got to know there are those types of games that are going to sneak up and get you, because what is Key coaching his club on? Making a statement early if you can, and that's what you're trying to do.
I mean, he's got like a sixth-year guy at quarterback too, who has
been around,
who has seen the ups and downs of everything you could possibly have: injuries, wins, losses, big wins, bad losses. He's done it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that. Doesn't mean that DJU also hasn't been around there, because he has. He's had a very difficult road too, and also a fifth-year guy. So I just think that game's going to be a lot more difficult than people think.
All right, you got some new head coaches that are in the ACC this year, Manny Diaz being one of them. He's an old friend in a new spot. So he comes in, he takes over from Mike Elko. He's coaching up the Duke Blue Devils. He's been the defensive coordinator last couple of years at Penn State, did a dang good job under James Franklin, enough to where someone said, this guy knows the footprint of the conference. He is regarded as a pretty good recruiter. Let's get this guy on the campus here in Durham, and let's see if we can't turn something into something special that can last a little while. Because Mike Elko did some pretty good things up there. He really did.
Yeah.
And then he got hired away to go back to Texas A&M. But the brand of football that he put out there, can Manny? I mean, Manny, Leon from the Miami days, got another chance. What can he do with it?
Well, I mean, can he duplicate what he did at Miami? One thing about him at Miami, I never had an issue with him defensively. It was always scoring points. I mean, because, he took that mastermind at Miami. He moved to the Penn State. Penn State was one of the elite defenses in the Big Ten all of the last couple of years he was there. So, I mean, the reason I may have paused a little bit because I thought about the fact that, man, these defense at Duke is going to be might be challenging, because Miami over the last couple of years have had the issues with Duke, especially defending them and defensively. So we'll see. I met Manny a couple of times. He was at Miami. So, I'm happy that he got him another job in the ACC, and I'm sure he'll do a wonderful job.
I mean, he's going to recruit his tail off, because that's what he does. He's a terrific recruiter. I think with Manny, it's going to be who do you hire in your critical positions at your coordinator roles, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams? Who are those guys you hire, and can they be guys that can develop that offense more than what it was getting there with Riley Leonard? Once Riley Leonard got hurt, then it became just a chore to score points for them. And right now Malik Murphy's a really talented guy, from Texas. He was a Texas backup last year. Can he continue that climb of what it looked like when he was playing for Quinn Ewers last year, when Ewers hurt his shoulder again?
Right.
If he can be that type of guy, I think Duke's got a chance to have a pretty good season, actually.
Yeah, they
lost a lot in the portal, man, a lot.
And that's expected, isn't it? Because what happened? Jimbo gets canned in College Station. He gets canned. A lot of guys leave, jump in the portal, right?
Yeah.
Mike Elko gets hired there. He's trying to convince a few of them to stay. Well, if you're trying to figure out where you're going to stay, would you rather stay at A&M or would you rather stay at Duke? And so Duke, without a good coach, isn't necessarily the best environment, right?
Yeah. The problem is they lost interior line guys too on both sides of the ball. So that's an issue because that more than anything is where Elko really elevated Duke. They were a physical team, especially last year. Leon was like, I couldn't believe that.
I was just about to say that. When they played against Clemson, the fact that their defensive front was beating their offensive line off the ball, and their offensive front was beating up Clemson's and I said, and their speed off the edge, their attack angles, their rundowns. I was like, when did Duke get speed? Especially interiorly. I mean, I was concerned with that Duke game when they beat Clemson. I was like, when did Duke get speed? So I mean, I was trying to. It was impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, look, honestly, I got to give it up to Mike Elko too, because here's the thing: he's one of the few defensive guys that have been hired in the college football game that have been able to make sure that the offense thrives. It's not an easy thing to do. One of the more obvious ones of late. Kirby. Okay, Kirby Smart cut his teeth on the defensive side of the ball at Alabama, went back to his alma mater up in Athens, and obviously was balls out. But when you think of Mike Norvell, comes to Tallahassee as an offensive man, Mario, I guess you'd have to classify with the brand of offense he had out in Oregon, comes home to Miami with the idea that he's going to be able to put some exciting offenses on the field. And you go down the line with the other guys that were hired. Billy Napier, I don't know if you guys know this. He was hired for offense. He was hired for offense, and Cruton. But that's the type of thing. There aren't too many. Can you think of too many others, Matt, from the defensive side of the ball that have of late that have been hired? Because Josh Heupel was hired up at Tennessee as an offensive guy.
I mean, Justin Wilcox at Cal, but that was like 5 years ago. So 6 years ago even.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as defense, not many. Not many, that's for sure. Not many.
Yeah, and so
that's Tucker.
Yeah,
that was 4 or 5 years ago still,
and,
too.
And it didn't last, unfortunately, for him.
No, because Jonathan Smith replaced him. Jonathan Smith is obviously a offense guy.
Yeah, Jed Fish.
Yeah, offense guy.
He gets hired twice for being an offensive guy at Arizona
Dave
State.
Aranda to Baylor when he left LSU after the championship season.
True. And Aranda got them back to notoriety, and then they
won the Big 12,
and then they kind of fell flat on their face this last year.
No quarterback.
Yeah.
It's all about the QB.
Maybe.
When you don't have a quarterback, you got problems.
So, speaking of the quarterback over the weekend of the rookie minicamp is an ACC guy, played at 2 different schools, and he was the guy just trying to throw it around so the Brian Thomases of the world could get their mitts on it, and for that matter, the Jarvis Landrys of the world at 31 years of age. So let's touch on that. Brennan Armstrong was at Virginia, then at NC State. So anyway, let's touch a little bit of rookie minicamp. We're going to see if we can get Irish Fell to say hello to us in just a little bit as we'll talk with our buddy from War Chant just as far as the storylines here. Because when they walk into that room 3 o'clock, we don't exactly know what's going to happen, but it could be an animated setting. We will find out. It is XL Primetime, Mocama Beer Company. They are up here in beautiful Fernandina. You can find them on the shelves at Total or ABC. All you got to do is log on to mocama.com, and you'll see all the fantastic offerings that they've got. We're talking about craft creations, and they serve their craft Tuesday through Sunday. Every single day of the week they're serving coffee. So look for them on South 8th or look for them in Wildlight, Mocama Beer Company. It's XL Primetime, hanging out. Beautiful Ritz-Carlton up on Amelia Island.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Some players have talent, others have heart. But tonight, I've seen players with talent who I didn't know had any.
1010XL.
And others with heart who I thought only had talent.
Where talent meets heart.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited-time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I have heard you talk about growing a diamond from a small size to a larger size. Exactly how does that work at Underwoods?
David, it's a very simple thing we do on diamond solitaire rings and diamond ear studs and diamond solitaire necklaces. When a customer buys one of these items from Underwoods, we guarantee they get the price paid for it on the purchase of any larger or more expensive diamond. Now, a lot of places would say we do the same thing, but where Underwoods is different is we don't care if you're only trading up by 1/100th of a carat or going up by $1. We give the customer the full value of the diamond they're trading in. The Underwood Grow a Diamond program has been in place for a number of years, and it's something the people here in North Florida have been taking advantage of for a long time.
That's at Underwoods, where you can grow a diamond.
Underwoods, serving excellence since 1928 in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Underwood Jewelers.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I know you've heard this before. Why is it so hot in this house? Well, summer's already here on the First Coast, and those soaring temperatures can do a number on your AC. And when they break down, we need them repaired in hours, not days. This is where the good folks at Fenwick Home Services have you covered. Fenwick offers same-day, 24/7 service, and if you need a new AC because yours is on its last leg or already broken, Fenwick has next-day installation. That's right, next-day installation, and can keep you and your family cool and comfortable all year long. Now, here's the best part. Call Fenwick day or night, 24/7, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com, and stay cool and comfortable all year long.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Choose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The Weekend Rewind. Brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
Brandon Nimmo walks it off for the Mets.
3-2 Nimmo. Deep to right center. Still going. And it's over! Oh, what a stall! The hero after getting injured yesterday. Off the bench and wins it with a walk-off shot.
Seth Lugo has himself a day on the mound for the Royals.
Curveball on the outside corner. Called strike 3. Seth Lugo, masterful on this Mother's Day. A career-high 12 strikeouts in a season-high 8 innings.
Ring announcer had one job. I don't know who was worse, him or Steve Harvey during Miss America.
Is this guy for real?
I'm dead.
Is this guy Lieutenant Dan Hennessy for real?
Get this dude up out of here, man.
I mean, what are we doing? And we said it before in the first fight that he read the scores incorrectly of the normal standard protocol of how you read scores, and then he just did that.
Yal really thought the Denver Nuggets were going away.
Lost the ball with a turnover. Nice Denver D. Porter at the other end, and he tries and he gets it to go. Beating the clock. Court length. That's intercepted. Murray could have been go. Got it! A big time three.
That was something else. It really was. And the Denver Nuggets, the Joker, Jamal, you could throw Aaron Gordon in there. They all made it happen as they lost 2 and then stole 2 right back. The Weekend Rewind, we say thanks to Cycles of Jacksonville. And don't forget, if you want to rewind your weekend, you know, I didn't have enough fun, go see the folks at Cycles of Jacksonville. Their showroom is right there on Atlantic near Regency, and you'll find all sorts of weekend fun. That is for sure.
You know what's funny is you know, RJ punches in the words that the computer says for that.
That's not true.
And he literally took the exact text I sent you guys last night.
Yeah.
Y'all thought Nuggets were done.
Yeah. That's the cyber chick saying what she says.
Don't sprain your
That's
wrist,
AI.
man.
That's AI.
Don't sprain your wrist patting yourself on the
back. Yeah, when you start thinking about, by the way, the Mets beat the Braves.
Right, haven't got much right this year already, so give me a little.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I got you.
He's looking for a little love.
I'm going to show you love when
I need a little something.
Cabo Beer Company Monday. We are hanging out. Beautiful Fernandina Beach, the Ritz-Carlton. We say thanks to Greg and everybody here for hosting us. And we've talked to a couple of the coaches. Hopefully we'll be able to get them to pop on with us today or tomorrow as we're talking about the ACC high-level meetings. You got the basketball coaches. You got the football coaches. You probably have a few other dignitaries. Of course, Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner. He'll be talking to all of them. And they're trying to, of course, figure out what the next step is, because this has definitely been, safe to say, an interesting offseason.
Well, I mean, the question is this: like, you're in this, the athletic directors are in their room, and the commissioners are in there with them. And at what point does Mike Alford, the Florida State athletic director, make some kind of point on some kind of whatever?
Right.
And someone doesn't like sarcastically say, "What do you care? You're out in a year anyway. You're out in 6 months anyway."
Yeah, or you don't have a voice.
Right. You don't have a voice anymore.
Why are you
here?
Right.
There's no reason for you to even step up because
Okay, so let's just do the temperature in the room.
I mean,
okay?
I mean that would be like sarcastically, right? But
right.
But I think there would be a little bit of like, I'm half serious here kind of tone to it too.
Okay, so let's just do the temperature in the room. What will that be like?
Oh, it's going to be steamy.
What will some ADs think versus the other ADs? That's what you got to figure out. All right, we're going to say hello to Mack Brown. We're going to get him to pop up. Coach, we're going to get you right over there and make sure that we get him all hooked up to say hello. We're talking, probably can call him the dean of college head coaches. There are only so many coaches that have won national championships that are still walking the sidelines in the world of college football, and one of them is with us, Mack Brown.
How you doing, Mac?
I'm doing great,
Good
guys.
to see
How
you.
are
You
you?
look great.
Thank you, Matt. I feel great. Undefeated.
Undefeated, which is
Things
always
are
good. Right?
Things are good. Coaches are out recruiting. We're down at meetings trying to figure everything out. So that's good.
What this? It's like crazy right now. This time in college football, right? And I'm not even talking right now about NIL and player movement. It's just there's so much going on right now that you guys have to deal with potential for revenue sharing and like I said, player movement and NIL and how do you guys soak this all in on a weekly basis and meet with your staff and say, okay, let's do this now. That plan we had last week, completely done. We got to do something else.
Matt, it's a great question, and I was on a Nike trip with about 30 head coaches a month or so ago, and the chief administrator started out by saying in our business meeting, college football's never been better than it is right now. And I thought, okay, help me with what that means. And he said, ratings are higher than ever before.
Right.
People are filling the stands. We have a playoff for the first time ever, like the other sports have playoffs. Kids are getting paid. So he's right. Things are really good. Now, do we have some issues and have some guidelines and got to get some things fixed and we're kind of all over the place? Yeah. But sometimes you have to have something really difficult happen before you can get things fixed. And maybe if we'd eased into this, we wouldn't have fixed it as quickly. And I think everybody now realizes we got a problem.
Right.
And the problem are guidelines and a direction for the future. We're not all aligned. Without alignment and a strategy that you can implement, you're not going to make it. So we got to get aligned. And we've got to do what's best for fans and kids, and then, therefore, universities, because without our fans, we have nothing. This sport is about the kids, so we've got to take care of them and their families, and we're doing that more than ever before. But I think we've put added pressure on them because we're kind of out there running around all over the place, and I wish it was transparent. I wish we had a plan to know exactly what they were going to make, why they could transfer and not just move because they get mad one day and they want to.
Right.
So I do think we're close to being better than ever, but we've got to make we got to have really smart people get aligned and make some hard decisions here over the next 6 months to 2 years to get this thing on track.
So I've been saying this over and over, and I want you to kind of underscore because I know you believe it too. This is not about money. You guys coaches don't care what players make, that they're making money. It's the ability to move freely is what really is causing problems right now, right?
It is. It is. And since we have no plan, it seems like we're gravitating toward the NFL because they have a plan. For the first time in my life, I believe they have a better plan than we do for what we're doing because we didn't look at consequences when we threw all this stuff out there.
Right.
And there are a lot of consequences, and mental health is one of those consequences because it's just so there's so much. We had a NIL meeting the other night, and 3 of our kids spoke. And I said, tell your supporters what NIL's done for you. And one of them said, you know what it's done for me? I'm getting backpacks for my middle school. And I'm going back in my break, and I'm going to take deodorant and hairspray and shaving gear.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to teach these kids how to have better health and have better habits. And I thought, that's what NIL should be about. Another one said, I'm wanting to work in coaching, so I'm trying to develop a book, and I'm trying to do things to enhance my coaching ability when I get through here. One of them said, we don't have family insurance, so I'm using it. But also, my parents have never seen me play on the road, so this will help them get to see me play. Those are the reasons that you have NIL. So if people start understanding that instead of it's for a Lamborghini or a Austin Martin or all the stuff that's out there, that hurts us. So I do believe that we're making progress. We've had one kid leave. He was tampered with. He was paid, and that's what's happening. So that's okay. And he was paid a lot of money to leave. But by and large, what we've had to do, all of us, is we've got to do a better job of shrinking that pool that wants to be at North Carolina. that's not going to take money up front just to come, because we can be outpaid by some of the big boys, and that's not going to play really good 2 years from now and then leave.
Yeah.
Because if he's going to take money now, he's going to take money in 2 years,
Right.
so you're not going to have him anyway. So it really cut our pool down. And we've got to look at academics even closer and who really wants to be at North Carolina to get a degree, because I think there's 10% of the NFL players can live after the NFL without working. Nobody can live after NIL without working.
Right.
So as much as we talk about money, this isn't real money for them for the rest of their life. This is money to change decisions that might not be best for them, and that's where they got to be really careful.
Now, Coach, I'm all for player empowerment, but when I think about the NIL money, I always reference back to Jimmy Johnson when he coached me at Miami. And one thing Jimmy was a stickler on was the locker room, the dynamics of the locker room. How does the NIL, how does that affect the dynamics of the locker room as far as the haves and maybe not the have-nots?
I think it affects some of the teams because some coaches and collectives are just paying some guys, and they're not paying all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a fair deal. So what we've said is, what is your value? That's what the NFL does. What is your value to this team? And you need to help us with that. And if your value is not very good, they say it's not pay for play. Well, they're darn sure not going to pay guys that aren't playing good.
True.
Or getting in trouble or messing up. So, guys, you didn't ask for this, but it is more like an NFL roster. So we're going to treat it like that. And I don't think our locker room's been affected at all.
Yeah, and that's got to be a difficult journey for a 17, 18-year-old kid. Because, listen, I was introduced to the business part of football by Jimmy real early, all right? He let us know that certain guys get certain favors here because they play a lot better. He was up front. He was facts. So if you got a 17 to 18-year-old kid that's not used to that, that's been coddled all the way through Pop Warner to now to have to deal with the business aspects of it, maybe they want that or maybe they don't. But some kids deal with it well and some kids don't.
I think that's why we're seeing so many people in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Some don't want it. Some were promised things and they weren't paid. They didn't get the same things when they got there. So what am I going to do? They lied to me. I'm leaving. So I think that's where the portal gets so full. And then the last stat I heard that were 40% of the kids that go in the portal either don't get scholarships or they don't have one as good as the one they just left.
Yeah.
That's really sad. They're listening to a third party. They're listening to an agent. They're listening to an uncle, a family member that says, you're getting screwed. Right. You need to go instead of the patience. So right now, fans have got less patience than ever before. We're seeing coaches fired in 2 years, 3 years. I would have been fired at North Carolina if it'd be modern day because we were 2-20. I was ready to be fired. I was trying to be fired. But then you look at, we're not waiting as long to develop a player because I can get one out of the portal. It's 2 years older, 3 years older. So why would I wait on Matt if he's an 18-year-old when I can get me a 22-year-old? I need to win, man.
Yeah.
And then players aren't patient because they're saying used to that offensive lineman used to have to wait 3 years, 4 years, and now if I'm not playing as a freshman, I'm looking around. And they've got places to go because people are calling them.
Well, I know that we've got to get to a little football because, honestly, like the point that you made, we're talking with Mack Brown, coach of UNC. We're up here at the ACC spring meetings on Amelia Island. But what you said is so true. The NFL actually has policies. There is player movement, but there's also limited player movement. And so I asked Matt, and we talk about this all the time, who is setting the rules, and when will someone actually have a set of rules that you can follow? Because Kirby Smart or Hugh Freeze, they said it best. I just want to know what my roster is.
Yeah, I think all of us do. Roster management's become very difficult.
Yeah.
And even if a guy calls me today and says I'm leaving, and he can if he's a graduate transfer and he's our starter, I'm without a starter 3 months from kickoff. So and you can't go get one now. Because we saw the transfer portal was a lot lighter in May than it was in December and January, because the ones that wanted to keep them paid them in the spring.
Right.
So they're not leaving as quickly. So I think that's what these meetings are good for. Charlie Baker's here and going to speak to the group in a minute. They've got problems because they've got lawsuits and they've got their hands tied too. with the NCAA. But we've got to get a lot of smart people, and we have a lot of smart people, in a room together, and we've got to start putting some common sense into this thing. And that's something I think we've missed. Do players need to get paid? Yeah. Should they? Yeah. That's good. Everybody's fine with that. Everybody's got guidelines.
Right.
Everybody in our lives have guidelines, and we don't. So we got to get guidelines. How fast can we get that? What does that mean? You start looking at player agencies. You start looking at are they going to be employees?
Collective bargaining.
Collective bargaining. You've got so many things. What about the revenue sharing?
Yeah.
What about the realignment? I mean, there's so many moving pieces right now. I think the first thing we've got to do is make sure that we take care of the game and take care of the players, and then therefore the fans are in that group.
So I know you got to go, and we really appreciate your time. Real quick, though, there's going to be some odd moments in these meetings, right? With Florida State's, they're suing the ACC suing them, Clemson suing the ACC suing them back. How do you as a coach, all of you guys as coaches, how do you kind of deflect that? And is it going to be odd being in these meetings?
Yeah. Matt, I went through I went through the Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And it got sensitive, and I thought we were down to 5 minutes before I thought we were in the Pac-12, and I saw on ESPN we were staying because of the Longhorn Network. And I'm sitting there telling Coach Royal, Coach, I think we're gone. And comes on TV, and he said, well, you don't know. And I said, well, I don't know because they just told me we're staying. I think what the coaches do is stay in their lanes. We got to beat Minnesota in the opener.
Yeah.
And so everything, I'm trying to manage transfer portal. I'm trying to manage NIL. I'm trying to manage roster management. I'm trying to manage depth. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the quarterback. So really and truly, the long-term picture is not on the coach's plate. The athletic directors are probably limited in what they can even say because it's done by trustees, it's done by presidents and chancellors, so it's done by a lot more than them. So I think this meeting will be about what the ACC needs to improve our football brand for us.
Crucial.
It is crucial.
No matter who's here, right?
No matter who's here. And we're all going to be here in August. So we've got to think. We got to welcome the 3 new members. I haven't even met some of those coaches here yet. But then we've got to figure out what's best for ACC football. And past that, our lives are short. And coaches can't be looking at what am we going to do 4 years from now. I had 6 coaches saying I was going to quit for the last 5 years, and they're fired. They should have been worried more about coaching than saying I was going to quit.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing right now. I was here last year when Brett tweeted the Magnificent Seven. I was sitting next to Mike Elgo, and he said, "You're one of those." And I thought, no, I'm trying to win the opener, Mike. We got South Carolina in Charlotte. That's all I'm worried about. And here he is. He's already gone to Texas A&M, so he's not worried about it anymore. So I do remember thinking about scheduling at Texas for the Pac-12, thinking about recruiting. What's it going to change? What's it going to do? And then we worried about it for 2 years, and then one day it went away. So I think what we as coaches have to worry about is our team, our players, our staff, and preparation.
So talk about one player before you leave. Drake May, has he been more second-guessed than any this guy's uber talented. I'm such a fan anyway. He was second-guessed all the way through the draft process. How do you think he'll be?
In my 36 years, that's what certain people get attention for second-guessing. That's what they do with the draft. Right. So I've seen it so much. I told Drake, quit worrying about it. Yeah. Keep working. You're going to be a first pick. You're going to be in the top 3. So what does it matter what somebody says your feet are good or not?
Yeah.
And he keeps working on his feet. The guy's played 2 years of college football. He's a puppy.
Fabulous to watch.
And he has got so much upside. I would have taken him number 1 in a minute. And the Patriots are so lucky to have him. Are any of those guys perfect? And are any of them worth $30, $40 million? That's questionable for all of us when we start looking at a draft. But his upside is so unbelievable. They're going to like him even better when they get to know him. I'd adopt him I think he's one of the most wonderful young people. He competes his butt off, but he's got the shucks.
Yeah.
He'll hug your neck, but at the same time, he will compete his butt off and try to whip you in everything he does. So he'll be a superstar.
All right, he's Mack Brown, Hall of Fame coach, better man.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
guys.
my friend. Good to see you.
Appreciate
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, the idea is that they get to a point where if I guess that's just the whole draft season. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, is second guess everything. All right, now they're about ready to walk into a room, so we'll take a quick break, and hopefully we'll be able to get to a couple more of them. Mario, we hope, after the meeting starts, you know what he'll do?
Well, I see the AD from Miami right in front of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
all
that's
right.
the
So
AD.
we may have to say hello to him too. Find out what's going on with that, because it's so funny the way they've got these rooms set up. Some of them are going to walk into that AD meeting, and like Matt said, it might get just a little frosty. Some of them are going to walk into the coaches.
It's going to get frosty.
Oh, yeah, the basketball coaches, the football coaches. So we'll keep it rolling here. It is XL Primetime up here at a Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island with a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. There's an energy and drama to play-by-play sports.
This crowd, a big factor.
You never know what's going to happen.
Wow!
Feel the energy on 1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857, or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hi, this is Chelsea from Renewal by Anderson. Now's the time to get your custom windows and doors. Through the month of May, buy 2 windows and or patio doors and get the third 60% off. Plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. Some restrictions apply. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Go to rbafla.com to book your design consultation today. License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, I know we love our happy hours, but have you been to Mr. Chubby's Wings for lunch lately?
Yep, their new specials are awesome. I eat lunch there all the time.
I went this week and got wings, a drink, and chips for $8.
As usual, the best prices in town. You can't hardly find anyone doing $8 lunch anymore.
I know. I'm saving my money for the weekends with $8 lunch specials.
Save your money for the weekends. Enjoy $8 lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 locations serving you for all sports all year. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not quite sure how when it comes time to sell it. I'll tell you how. I'll give you 2 hows, Chad and Sandy. More on that in a second. It's a tougher market now. It means it's crucial to hire the right agents to sell your home to maximize price, and we have been telling you now for years, and why I'm recommending Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. They've got the plan and experience to sell your home fast for maximum cash. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time, but most importantly, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Take Mary in Panther Creek. My dream was to move from my Panther Creek home into a new Del Webb Sweetwater home closer to my family. Chad and Sandy made it happen. They sold my own home in just 14 days, plus they helped me get into my new dream home at the same time. Call the Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 414-6200, 904-414-6200, or chadandsandy.com.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 13, 2007, at the PGA Players Championship, American Phil Mickelson won by 2 strokes ahead of Sergio Garcia.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Folks, the First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in 4 categories: Best Orthopedic Practice, Physical Therapy, Pain Management, and Foot Care Clinic. For the last 30 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Joe C. for Roland Reich Plumbing. When I needed a plumber, I said, Roland, I got a problem, man. This water heater just absolutely caved in on me. Because don't worry, I got it. Send me a picture of it. So the next thing you know, I'm giving them a picture. I'm showing them what size tank I'd like, where it's at. He goes, no problem. We don't have to move anything around. We can be there in no time. We're talking the next day. Now, here's what they can do for you. 24/7 emergency service is available, and they're 25-plus years worth of experience as a business in this community, and they will definitely take care of you. So log on, plumbingjacksonville.com, and remember, it's simple. When you have a leak and can't wait a week, make sure you get in touch with Roland Reich Plumbing.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case, plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona to the King of Beers to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
You think about today, we're kind of at the halfway point. Scrimmage number 1, first time we've tackled, first time we've kind of managed the in-game situation piece as players, and I think practice has been very competitive. I think we've got a group of veteran players that are doing a good job, kind of setting the tone and being a really good example, and then I see the young players continue to make progress.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
I've been known to dip my toe in an IPA vat of beer. You know that, Matt, right? I'm like, did I just have several Cosmicos when Billy Napier tells me that they haven't gone over the end game as much? But they did this offseason. RJ, did you hear that correctly? You played it. Did I hear that right?
Oh, you heard it.
Oh, my gosh. I just try and figure it out. Anyway, they've gone over the end game. They're hoping that that's going to be better next go-around. All right, that was head coach Billy Napier of the Florida Gators. I'm seeing Mike Norvell walking through the convention space here,
and Mike Alford,
at the Ritz-Carlton
for FSU. Is probably a very popular
He's the AD,
guy here.
Exactly.
Very popular guy here right now.
So 2 Mikes walk into a bar, right? I just wonder, because they have to separate now. One has to go into the football coaches meeting.
The other one's going into hell.
The one's going into the AD's
imagine walking into that meeting, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
So just to paint the picture, it is XL Primetime. Joe C., Matt Hayes, big Leon Searcy. Leon's down there talking to the Miami Athletics Director right now, and hopefully we'll have Mario on with us tomorrow. We think will be the time that he'll jump on. But as it's setting up here, they come walking in, and this is the first time the ACC has had their spring meetings up here on Amelia Island for I don't know how long.
No, last year they were here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For I don't know how long. They've been here. They've been
coming.
They've been coming here forever.
Yeah.
And so we hypothesized at the beginning of our show that who knows what happens with the ACC. Is it fracturable? Is that a word? Is it a? Because think about this, people. Let's make this the 10-10 take right now as I pose this question to Matt Hayes. As far as here we are, mid-May, and what we see is a conference that's adding members, but what could it ultimately turn into?
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since '68.
You got Sonny's Barbecue all over the First Coast. If you're getting those hunger pangs, you're like, what am I going to eat tonight? It's good. You get you a slab of ribs, pick up some of those tremendous sides, visit any one of your area Sonny's and enjoy some delicious barbecue. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but the 10-10 take is very simply the Pac-12 a season ago, about this time, thought everything was okay. They thought everything was all right. They thought, hey, we got some good football teams that are all going to play for something big. The Oregons, the Washingtons, a lot of them were predicting them to step onto a college football playoff stage. Lo and behold, they did in the form of the Washington Huskies. But this time last year, they had no idea that they were going to be basically torn apart, taken down, dissolved. And I don't know whether that's going to happen in the case of the ACC, but that is kind of the crossroads that they're at right now. That's the 10-10 take, Matt. Could you have imagined, and I know that you're a college football columnist, you're covering it on a regular basis, but there aren't too many regular everyday Joes out there, the average Joes, that are looking around that knew the Pac-12 in May would be gone in December, basically.
No, I get that. I will say this, and I'm saying this now for future, for the ACC, for the Big 12. I will be shocked by nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, you should
because money is the bottom line foundation of this move for all these guys, and it's foundational, and it's typically will lead to a paradigm shift, which is what happened with. Think about this: since the turn of the century, college football has eaten two major conferences. The Big East and the Pac-12.
And we're not yet a quarter of a century into the 21st century.
And they're not done because now they've turned to the ACC.
Right.
So I think what you have to – when you're looking at this from the outside in, and Mack Brown said it best when he was on our show's last segment, when he said, look, when I was at Texas – 5 minutes before it happened, I thought we were going to the Pac-12.
Right, and that was
Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and there were two others. I can't remember who else was. But there was 6 teams that were going there, and it was going to be like a huge deal, obviously. And then, boom, it evaporated because of the Longhorn Network, because Fox stepped in at the last minute and helped ESPN pay for the media rights deal that basically saved that league. Mm-hmm. So – saved the Big 12 is what I'm saying, and prevented the Pac-12 from – think about that. Had that happened, the Pac-12 would still be there, and the Big 12 would be dead right now.
I'm looking at Leon now, and
I'm back. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was waiting for Mario to come through. He was texting me saying he was on the way to the meeting, and I had to wait until I saw him come through. But he said, listen, I got to go into this meeting. He said, hell, if I got to take a bathroom break to come to do the show with you, he said, I will. So that's what I'm talking about. So he said he will. So we definitely going to get him on the show today.
Yeah.
Crazy thing about it is while I was up there waiting for Mario, man, I ran into one of my college professors, Dr. Dawkins. And he came in there and told me he remembered me here and there or whatever. So it was just weird. It was just weird to see one of my former professors at Miami talk so eloquently about it.
Did you ask him why you're not in the Ring of Honor?
I did not. Maybe that might be something we can conjure up once he gets on the air.
You know what? Mario may not like this, and we may be ambushing him, but he's got to do something about that.
Well, he's got to get
the head coach, and he can do something about it.
He's got to get him in the college football Hall of Fame.
Well, let's start first with the Miami Ring of Honor, and then we'll go to the college football Hall of Fame.
But isn't he already? If you're a Hall of Famer,
No, if you're a Hall of Famer, you don't necessarily get in the ring.
Oh,
hey, listen, I tell you why. I'll take over all that. I'll take a playoff appearance of all that. Hey, listen, I'm for real. I don't have to be selfish. I've been a team player all my life.
Yeah, exactly. You have, but it is cool that that you're talking about guys that kind of bring back memories of you being on campus, and not for an athletic exploit, for an academic exploit, which is pretty cool.
Right,
that's for sure.
And to dovetail into what we were talking about, Miami was part of that when the first conference they got to Eaton when they were in the Big East.
Yeah,
and they went to the ACC. Yeah. So this is something that's happening now for 24 years.
Yeah, because that's when I
was. It's not like this is new. So I don't know why any of us should be surprised by this. I guess it's the quickness and the gravity of it is why everybody is so surprised by it. But, I mean, would you really be shocked if Florida State and Clemson somehow found a way out this summer? Not out for this season, but technically for whenever, 25 or 26, whenever it is.
Wouldn't be shocked.
Wouldn't be shocked in the
At
least.
all.
And
by the way,
at that point, the ACC says, look, well, there's no sense you even being here, right? Would you be shocked by that?
No, it wouldn't.
No.
But Oklahoma and Texas, they squeezed every drop of blood financially out of them that they could. The Big 12 did, until there was nothing left. Don't forget that. They wouldn't let him go.
Right.
They're holding on to him like Jeff Van Gundy
right.
at the bottom of their feet. And so that easily could happen. All right. So
but they still have – here's the difference. The ACC has – in their contract with ESPN, you have to have a certain amount of teams to continue with that contract. So even if Florida State left, even if Clemson left, they're still through 2036 in that deal with ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
That ESPN's
For
going to
the
have to pay
here and now.
them. Yeah.
You're right. All right, we'll keep it rolling. Mocama Beer Company Monday. We are up here on Amelia Island, the Ritz-Carlton, and hanging out with the ACC folks. That's coaches, football, basketball, athletic director, and media types. And we're going to say hello to a couple of them coming up here in just a bit. West Durham will join us. We hope Roddy Jones will drop by, and Ira Chaffel from War Chant.
Maybe even Mr. Sources will drop by.
Yeah.
McMurphy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he might. The Magnificent Seven, Brett McMurphy. That's coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Jaguars and Gators. Gators and Jaguars. Jacksonville's home sweet home of the Jaguars and Gators. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety. There is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Did you know that a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. primeroofingfl.com.
Hacker here, and last week I mentioned the number 60, but it was prefaced with the word almost. Well, here we are 1 week later, and I can now say I've lost over 60 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Every week, my weight keeps going down and down. Apparently, so does my blood pressure, because earlier this week, my doctor was shocked. My blood pressure is the best it's been in years, and I practically just started Awaken 180. I used to dread going to the doctor. If you're overweight, you know exactly what I mean. Always hearing you need to make changes. You need this med or you need that med. Not anymore. Awaken 180 has flipped the switch on aging for me, and I feel great. Guys, girls, if I can do Awaken 180, if I can succeed with Awaken 180, I guarantee you will too. Choose Jacksonville's choice in weight loss and make the call. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, obviously the warmer temperatures are already here. And if you're like me, you want that oppressive Florida heat to stay outside your house. That's why I'm such a fan of Pella Windows and Doors. By now we know that windows are the #1 way that heat gets in and the cold gets out. So when you're ready for the stylish design and energy efficiency that comes from Pella Windows and Doors, visit their showroom on Phillips Highway, just north of Bay Meadows, or you can always find them online at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Friday and Saturday at Jaguars Rookie Minicamp was the first on-field look at Jaguars first-round pick Brian Thomas Jr. Five-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Jarvis Landry was asked for his opinion on the Jaguars first-round pick.
Elite. So just watching him out here and, seeing it firsthand in person. I've seen it on TV a couple of times, but seeing it firsthand, he's elite.
Jaguars inside linebackers coach Matt House with his thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr.
BT's got really good length, obviously elite speed. He's a matchup problem.
It's 79 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I think DJ's done really well in grasping that. I think he's done really well, in his overall understanding. But now it's just a repetition, and he needed a day like today. And there were some really good moments. There were some, some plays where as they resorted back to, maybe not the cleanest in his footwork or in his fundamentals, but that's what today's all about.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
I like to hear what Mike Norvell has to say about DJU and what you can expect from the quarterback, and that's what Seminole fans are looking forward to as well. You just got to figure out whether you believe it or not after seeing the spring game. It is XL Primetime, 3 o'clock hour has arrived. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, and you just heard the Mocama liner, Mocama Beer Company. I'm not going to profile West Durham and say that he might be an IPA man or
I might be.
You might be, or a stout.
I'm actually trying to lower calorie here for a little while to try to get back to fighting weight.
I know. Between you and Matt, you guys dropping LBs, looking good and all that kind of stuff. But still, I love the IPA.
It's about staying relevant, Joe, but appreciate it. Thanks.
Welcome in. He is the voice of the Atlanta Falcons, and in many ways,
we're going to talk about them. I guarantee that. Yeah,
we are going to bring them up.
Yeah, but that's going to happen.
Yeah, especially Michael Penix. We can find out whether Wes had something.
I couldn't believe that you're not going to ask him about Ruka Rororo.
Yeah,
you want to talk about Penix? Okay.
Yeah. Might as well just jump
I only
off.
came here for the free Leon Searcy cigars, of which I don't see any.
I don't have any.
See?
I think you did promise
once again, my NIL opportunity just goes completely.
You know what I'm going to do? You're going to be here tomorrow I'm going to bring you one tomorrow.
All right, I'm in.
Got you.
Yep,
That sounds good. That sounds good.
If I can get that one back through the Jacksonville airport into Atlanta, that'd be good. Okay.
The big stick. Now, he's the voice of Atlanta, so we might as well start there because we got to get to all this ACC stuff. There's a lot of stuff inside.
There's something going on in the ACC?
Oh, my
Okay.
gosh. Inside those closed doors, we don't know what's going to go. Like, they may kick the doors open and somebody storm out. But real quick, on Michael Penix, I know he's a talented player.
Yep.
But I was shocked with the amount of money that they spent on Kirk Cousins, unless they are shocked at maybe the rehabilitation of the Achilles. I don't know.
I think there's a couple things at play here. And, look, I'm not going to lie to you. Dave Archer and I are sitting there doing 4.5 hours on first-round night, correct?
Right.
And at 8, they pulled the trigger on Michael Penix. And he looks at me like he'd seen a UFO. And I looked at him like I'd seen something emerge out of the swamp. And he goes, what? And then when you heard Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris that night, I started to get a little clarity on the logic. So Raheem is obviously excited about coaching this football team and feels like that they are capable of getting to postseason. And I don't disagree with that. I think they are. Now, some of the analytics are tricky, but nonetheless, I think they're capable. So his logic of we're not going to pick this high again could be pretty sound. Second part of it is this. For 14 years, Atlanta had Matt Ryan at quarterback. 11 of those 14 years, he was a top 7 quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Hall of Fame, that discussion, we'll get to that sometime down the road. But when you have top 7 play at that position for 11 years, you get accustomed to stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Then you don't have that guy, and you have, and I'm not kidding now, bottom 5 quarterback play for 2 years.
That's what it was.
It was bottom 5, and it's across the board bottom 5. So at the end of the day, Atlanta's determined not to let it happen again, come hell or high water. So you pay $100 million guaranteed to Cousins on a $180 deal. He's going to be 36, I think, on opening day. I would like to think he can go 3 or 4 years if he's still got his wits about him, right?
Right.
He does have a bit of an injury history. So the insurance policy on Penix, I get it. If he doesn't take a regular season snap for 2 years, it's no different than Green Bay. It's no different than Green Bay twice, rather. It's also no different than what you've seen at 4 or 5 other franchises in the last 15 years. All that being said, it's still stunning they went at 8 to take Michael Penix, but yet I will say this, the rookie minicamp the other day, the goods are the real deal. I mean, it comes out of his hand like a flamethrower. And
accurate,
Raheem
smart.
Morris and Zach Robinson and those guys all went to the workout. And remember, they're Rams people as much as Raheem was with Atlanta, and they saw Matthew Stafford. They saw the arm power, the arm talent of Matthew Stafford. They see a little bit of that kind of athleticism, and we'll see where it goes. Is there risk-reward involved? Sure there is. But there's risk-reward involved in Caleb Williams in Chicago.
Sure.
And by the way, Chicago has no insurance policy. Atlanta at least has that. So we'll see where it goes. I'm interested to see kind of what the preseason looks like. And then, obviously, once they get to the regular season, your hope is Kirk Cousins starts 17 games and plays into the playoffs, and Atlanta picks 24th next year.
All right, so let's get into why we're here in Amelia Island. Joe and I just saw Mike Norvell and Mike Alford, 2 great dudes.
Yeah,
right?
really good guys, good people.
Imagine Mike Alford walking into that room. It must be like Beelzebub walking in. I mean,
No,
it's got to be difficult for them, right? Does it not?
I don't think there's any.
For Alford.
I don't think there's any. I don't disagree with that, Matt, at all. I think it is difficult. I think it's difficult for Graham Neff and Clemson. But at the same time, I think everybody is kind of understanding this is the context of the current landscape. Look, I don't know, and I'm not a lawyer, not going to play one. I know some intellectual property attorneys, which is what this case is.
Yep.
And I've talked to them, and I happen to be aware of the ACC's lawyer in the state of North Carolina. And I will tell you that I think both schools are playing uphill. They're playing uphill if they're looking for a guilty, not guilty, rule in favor of, or whatever. I just don't think that the grant of rights is going to create a path for them to be let out. Now, there's always the possibility of settlement. We're getting ready to see one of the first of the NCAA cases. But I don't know that there's going to be a Maryland get out of jail for $55 million card here.
No, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
Not in today's.
That's going to be more like $300
million. The other thing I would say to you guys is this. The concern I have in this, and I do believe it or not, as somebody who grew up in this league and now has worked in this league professionally for 30 years, or close to 30 years. I'm trying not to think of myself as that old, Hayes. The thing
What's he pointing to me for?
Because the three of us, Leon at least did something profitable, out of college after a career. We're older. We're getting old and not getting younger. But the thing I wonder about in this is the precedent being set by somebody? Are we creating, if somehow or another this breaks free, Florida State leaves and they go to the Big 12,
right,
and Clemson leaves and they go to the Big 10, does that mean then that we're creating a transfer portal or conference realignment?
Possible.
Yeah.
At least you have a blueprint for it now.
Well, you also have to have the two leagues that want them too. Mm-hmm. That's another thing.
I'm glad you said that before I did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the reality of it. Because if, and I've been saying this forever, is if FSU people think they're not getting in the SEC. You do not break up the ACC where the ESPN is a stakeholder.
Right.
And then the ESPN all of a sudden says, yeah, let's add them to the SEC. Why not?
Right.
No way.
And look, I appreciate the innuendos and the Chicagoland made by the athletic director. And, you say something in a room like that, though, it carries a little bit of definition to it. And so, whether that's reality or not, that's up to Tony Petitti and the people at the Big Ten. But I know what the offer, and you and I have talked about this before, I know what the offer was on the table 13 years ago for 3 schools to leave the ACC to go to that league.
Right.
And I'm sure the offer is a little different. But don't forget, too, the Big Ten sits out there with all these different elements in play, too. Are they really – there's one state I know both conferences want to be in, and it's not Florida, and it's not South Carolina.
No, it's Virginia.
It's the Queens, yeah.
It's also North Carolina.
North Carolina, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think we're a ways away.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you believe that FSU has a deal with the Big Ten right now that if they get out, they're in? See, I don't either.
I don't
either. And I think you got to look at it from the outside looking in. Like, why would the Big Ten say, yeah, we're going to welcome this team and they just blew up that conference because they didn't get their way, and we're going to welcome them in with open arms?
I mean, they may have a deal with the Big Ten, and if they do, good for them. But I don't know that they have a deal with the Big Ten determinant of the lawsuit. I haven't – maybe I'm not an authority on the Big Ten. There is one here. But I don't have that kind of reliability on that right now. I would actually, if I was a Florida State alum right now, I'd be concerned about where.
Well, like August 15th, AAU either for them.
Well, and August 15th is going to roll around, right?
Yeah.
And they've got to do either the letter on before August 15th or not. They're in for another year. So, what does that mean? And how does that play? And I think that's where, again, without being the lawyer and without being an attorney, there is a bit of a dice roll. You're clutching dice when you file lawsuits. That's essentially what you're doing. And eventually you got to roll them. And how that number comes up is kind of
the point Wes is making is Florida State has to tell the ACC by August 15th
we are members.
Whether they're in or out for another year.
We are leaving at the end of this year is their statement on August the 15th every year. If they don't say it on August 15th, 2024, then they are not in for just 24-25. They will also be in for 25-26.
Right.
Wow. Now how does that affect the dynamics of how the ACC looks at Florida State moving forward? Knowing that, they've tried to get about the conferences. If it doesn't work out,
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, as I noted some people when the football schedule came out, they've only done the football schedule in 4-year increments. And basketball schedule is in like 5, I think. So, you have to be flexible. And here's the other thing, too. We started last year with a schedule model that we were pretty comfortable with going forward for 5 years, and we only played it once, because then you go and add, 3 other schools. So I think you have to be cognizant. But, Leon, in the big picture, when they get in this room, and I think that we'd all like to think it's the old union labor meeting somewhere, right, where everybody one side of the room represents the small town, the other guy represents the big factories. I think at the end of the day, there's got to be some collegiality in this. There is philosophical differences. But here's the other thing, too. There are financial differences that are stark in that room. Nobody's talking about that part of it. The financial gap between the number 1 school in the ACC from a financial perspective for athletics and the number 17 or 18 school, that's real in that room. And I think that's a concern, too. Because, and look, and it could be the Big Ten with that conversation. It could be the SEC with that conversation, right? It doesn't make headlines when you talk about the minutia of that, but I think that's real too.
Yeah, because it's not just the split of the television money, it's what they are bringing in. We've got West Durham. We definitely enjoy his comment on the ACC and then also voice of the Atlanta Falcons. So let's talk a little ball itself before we got to turn you loose. Leon's Canes do look pretty good. Cam Ward looks really good coming out of the spring. They were able to haul in.
He's legit.
Yes.
Dude.
So who do you like early, like this post-spring?
And I mean like Brad
By the
Kyle,
way,
legit, too. I
he
mean like
looks
legit.
good.
You can't do that to him.
I'm window shopping right now.
You cannot.
Oh, you're not going to fall in love with him?
No, he can't.
Wait a second. Hold on. Let me have this conversation with the big fella. So you're like me. You like her. She looks good, but you're not sure.
I got my face up against the window, but I'm not going in the store. I've been in the store too many times, been disappointed.
You've gone in the store and they didn't have your size.
They had my size.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let me tell you what. Roddy Jones and I have had this conversation on SiriusXM. It's hard to fall in love with Miami after you've been burned.
Yes, it's true. But if you are looking at like Jordan Travis had such a sensational career in Tallahassee. He leaves. DJU comes in with question marks. Cam Ward comes into Miami with much less in terms of question mark, and then he was able to haul in the Martinez's, a couple of other guys.
I love Damian Martinez, by the way.
Yes. So Mario's got to prove that he can get it done.
By the way, they still got that monster at right tackle, too.
Yeah, they could be a little bit of a darling this year.
Could. I'd like to see him win on opening night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'd like to see him win impressively on opening night. I'd like for him to deliver a statement. If you're the ACC or you're Miami, period, nationally, you want to deliver a statement on opening night.
Yeah, because the other fan base is going to be second-guessing from the jump.
No question.
Yeah.
And so, for me, if you want to see the ACC, look, Clemson, Georgia. Look, Georgia's going to be a prohibitive favorite in Atlanta, okay, for a lot of reasons. But Miami has a chance to deliver a message nationally on opening night. I don't think there's any question about that. On the road. And to me, Ward is legit. I thought he was legit at Incarnate Word, for heaven's sakes. Then he goes to Washington State and does that. Martinez is terrific. And so, yeah, there are pieces about Miami that you really like. It may come down to what they got, a Friday night game. I think Virginia Tech is at a Friday night game somewhere along the way. That's a home game. There's some other elements about their schedule where, you can see them put it together as long, Joe, as we don't have the out-of-body experience late in games.
Yeah, because they had some inexplicable decisions. We know that.
I did all three.
He was there.
He was
so
there.
was Roddy. They were both there.
Yeah. No, Roddy wasn't at the knee.
He wasn't at the
No, Roddy wasn't with me the night they forgot to take a knee. No, Roddy was not there. But I was also in Raleigh when Mario elected to go for it on 4th and short rather than kick a field goal in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Changed the dynamic of the game.
And
I also saw the overtime game against Clemson.
Yeah.
Which they should have won that game in regulation. Right.
I'm just saying. So that's part of my window shopping, too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But they host Florida State, avoid Clemson, avoid North Carolina, NC State, and SMU.
Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Avoid North Carolina.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, just because Mack was on the show, you don't have to
you know what I'm saying.
Don't you start doing that about Mack.
Pay it up, man.
We will fight right now. Now.
Don't get me wrong. I did their all access with Roddy, their practice in the spring. They had a 2-quarterback situation, and now Jacoby Criswell's there to make it 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so the post-Drake May, there's going to be question marks there. That's for sure.
We'll say this, though. They got a major league running back. He is a major league talent. He is a big back. And with Jaden Ott coming in from Cal, and isn't that fun to say, Cal in the ACC, I think Jaden Ott and Amarian Hampton and probably Phil Moffa, the 3 best running backs in the league. I want to see Martinez. I saw him at Oregon State, and I like him a lot, but I don't know what he'll be like. I know what those other 3 guys are.
Good stuff, man. We appreciate it as always. We'll see you in a couple months up there in Charlotte. But if you are here,
this year we're at the fabulous Hilton, by the way, Joe.
Oh,
get ready for the Hilton. Get your Hilton Diamond points ready.
So a venue change. All right, we'll find out. Thanks as always. We appreciate it, my man.
Good to see you guys.
All right, West Durham is part of the ACC networks, all things ACC, and of course, voice of the Atlanta Falcons. We'll keep it rolling. It is XL Primetime up here in the beautiful Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island with the Mocama Beer Company Monday.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Don't answer that. Yeah.
What's your name? This is 1010XL. What are you? Jacksonville Sports Radio.
For Military Appreciation Month, Nimnik Chevrolet pauses to honor and express our deepest gratitude to the brave service members and their families who sacrifice so much for our country. Frank Frangie here. As a token of their appreciation, Nimnick Chevrolet is extending a special offer. $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership located on the corner of Park and Cassett. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks. Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up. So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh? Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
On the field, he brought the boom.
I'll always be a linebacker at heart.
He brings that attitude to the microphone.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Kyle McMahon.
Friday from 10 to noon. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich, the one-stop solution for any plumbing problem, residential or commercial. No matter how complex the work, Roland Reich quotes all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Whether your pipes are doing a water ballet or you need to hydrojet the whole system, always use Roland Reich Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
If you're a business owner and want to learn about federal, state, or local government contracts, plan to attend a free online webinar May 28th. The Florida Apex Accelerator, in partnership with UNF, provides expert guidance and consultations at no cost. The Apex Accelerator program can make selling to the government less complicated. Attend a free coffee and contracting webinar May 28th. Register at unf.edu/SBDC, then select Training and Event tab.
Homeowners and investors, the choice of title company is yours. When making that decision, choose the team of St. John's Title, LLC. As board-certified expert attorney-owned firm with decades of experience, we provide the utmost in precision and professionalism. Conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, we serve your needs. Whether refinancing or selling your property, our customer-first approach is tailor-made to your timeline. With a seasoned team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast, call or visit St. John's Title today.
Hey poker players, the Poker Atlas Tour is coming to Best Bet St. Augustine June 6th to 16th. The Poker Atlas Tour features 7 events, including the $600 no-limit Hold'em title event with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool and Event 1 $300 no-limit Hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites start May 26th. For more details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, great people, great company, and the test of time. It always matters. And, like, I've got my roof from Preferred Roofing, and I've been in my house well over 10 years, and I know the quality is there. I don't worry about it. Look, some insurance companies are sending notes saying, hey, you got to get a new roof. But I don't worry about mine. And when you're talking about quality, that's what they live up to because they know that the job they're going to do needs to last. So make sure you check out, if you're shopping for a brand new roof, preferredroofingjacks.com. And if you think about remodels, additions, improving your home, preferredbuildersjacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Mocama Beer Company right there as you enter the heart of historic Fernandina Beach. They're on South 8th, and they got their brand new Wildlight locations. You can check out either one of them. The old 50s car dealership that they turned into the tap room, it is beautiful right there on South 8th, and, of course, all their flavors. Outstanding. Check out Mocama.com. Now, we are inside the Ritz-Carlton. We've got the beginning of the ACC spring meetings. We'll be here today and tomorrow. And Rody Jones, as I look over at the Sirius XM set, and I think of his work on ESPN, and everything's been going on. The first thing I asked him was like, bro, you were in Gainesville. What about that Billy Napier offense? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I am good. It's great to be with you guys. Yeah, the Gator offense last year left a couple things.
A little bit desired.
But I like Billy's offense generally. Like I had him a ton, well, not a ton, but I had him a good amount at Louisiana. And I think the bones of that offense can really give people issues. The question that I have now with where he is, the job is so much bigger. Can you focus as much on it as he did in the past? But, there are some big question marks for them on offense. The fact that they kept Trey Wilson certainly is
he's a stud.
Tremendous.
Yeah, he's a stud.
I'm going to do a little like how the sausage is made real quick.
Yeah.
Joe didn't say a word to Roddy about Florida and the games. Nothing. And then as soon as we get on, boom, just ambushes him with what about the Florida offense?
He knows. I texted him after the game. I was like, we definitely have to get you on.
So, all right, so listen. So the Miami-Florida game, I've been saying this like for the last month and a half. That is a giant game, I think, that it's not getting much love right now. It will get bigger. Obviously, the season gets closer. But that game, man, the loser of that game is in deep.
I could not agree more. It is a massive game. The reason it's not getting any love is because neither team is going to be ranked in the top 25. Miami might be. Miami could be ranked in the top 25 if people are taking a leap. But I agree with you. Like, Miami's in a year this year 3 under Mario Cristobal. Did some really embarrassing losses a year ago. And there's a lot that's expected of this team, that freshman class that was so ballyhooed and performed well last year. They're going to be sophomores. You get Cam Warden. You get Damian Martinez in. It's really an entire team, a roster. There's real weaknesses in the secondary, but I think they've got enough pieces to make it at least average. And if it's average, that linebacking core is going to be really good. The front seven is going to be really good on defense. The offensive line should be one of the best in the ACC. The quarterback should be one of the best in the ACC. Xavier Restrepo, at receiver, looked phenomenal last year and has looked phenomenal in the offseason. And then that running back room, name me a running back room who's got a Damian Martinez and a Mark Fletcher in the ACC, or we can even go nationally, and there's not many. So there's going to be a ton of expectations on Miami. Florida needs it because if they need wins, like that schedule is brutal, and so you got to get them where you can. It's a huge game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So what you telling me? If it's close by Miami, then it's a loss.
No. Look.
No, dub's a dub, man.
I agree. Like it is about
that game. Get
and here's
the dub.
thing. Like at the end of the season, we forget all the context of what happened week one. Like we forgot that LSU lost to Florida State by the time we got to the end of it, or at least chalked it up as like, oh well, yeah, I know, but those two teams aren't the same. No. Florida State beat the brakes off LSU in week one. But we forget the context around it. So as long as you can get out of there with a 1-point win in double overtime.
Yep.
It's a win.
That's what I was saying, bro.
I won't be happy.
10-6, get out of there.
You wouldn't be happy.
No, not with a 1-point win. Not with escape with our lives, no. I would have bludgeoned.
We got Rody Jones with us. You can hear him on Sirius XM. You can catch him on the ACC network and then, of course, ESPN as he works a bunch of different games. And when we get up here and we're starting to figure out what's going on, what do you think? I mean, here's a guy who played and started at Georgia Tech. What do you think is going to happen with the ACC as things are? I mean, this has been a busy offseason, a tumultuous one maybe.
Yeah, it has. Are you talking like in the courtrooms and the off season,
exactly.
off
the football field?
Yeah. So I think the die is cast in terms of Clemson and Florida State. Like I don't know when or how, but I think the divorce is somewhat inevitable. The question is, how do you get there and how messy does it get? Obviously Florida State's going to file its second amended complaint. Do we learn anything new from that? I don't know. And I would my guess would be that obviously 24 Florida State and Clemson are in the league. I think they'll be there in 25. After that's a real question. Will that be hashed out today? Absolutely not this week, but I think over the next few months in the courts it'll be really interesting. And then the question is, who else could you lose? And what is the league after that? Is it still as valuable as from a media standpoint as it was previously? You couple that with decisions like the House decision, where you could end up with athletic departments paying athletes from either their TV revenue. Basically, it's a revenue sharing. Reports have been it could be up to $20 million a year. How do you combine all those things together? So it's tumultuous is probably not the right word, but it feels very unstable.
So you're a Georgia Tech star. We get all of that. I've been saying this now for a while. I think Georgia Tech's going to give Florida State everything they want in that game in Ireland. And it's a lot of reasons. It's the flight to Ireland. It's DJU. You don't know what kind of player he's going to be back in the ACC. It's Georgia Tech and how they're rising now with Brent Key. And Haynes King, we were talking off the air, he had 37 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
That's a legit fifth-year guy that's a big dude player.
Yeah. I think they will too. I think Georgia Tech will have a lot more figured out and know who they are more than Florida State will be. Like Florida State will still be finding an identity, particularly offensively. Right. And I think Georgia Tech offensively knows what they want to be. There will be guys to emerge, but the three stars are Haynes King, Justice Haynes, and E.J. Singleton Jr. Like those are the guys, and those are the guys that they're going to lean on. Florida State's going to be looking for those guys. Like they'll learn if Malik Benson can carry the mail or can be the guy out at receiver. They'll learn if Roydell Williams is ready to be an A1 back or if it's Lawrence Toafili. They're going to learn how DJ Uiagalelei fits into that offense. Where Georgia Tech knows the thing that Florida State has going for it is Georgia Tech was pretty bad on defense last year. So from a defensive perspective, can Georgia Tech take strides? I think is the biggest question going into that game, because obviously the talent's there for Florida State, even on that defensive line where they lost so much. But is Georgia Tech going to be up to the task defensively to keep it in where it's not a track meet?
Now back to the conference a little bit again. Firstly, I've been through divorces, unfortunately, and I know that once they're filed, there's no coming back from it. Clemson and Florida State have done this right now. There's no way neither one of these teams can actually function and survive back in this conference after they have already filed those lawsuits. So.
Yeah. I don't think so. Although if you're the ACC, what incentive do you have to settle? Like if it's going your way, I've heard, we could see a settlement, and obviously, from a lawyer perspective, that is the logical conclusion, especially if you don't want to get drug out in the courts. But if you're the ACC, what's the benefit of doing that? Because obviously the obvious one is short-term money. But in the long term, you are absolutely you're gutting part of what makes you valuable. And so I think if you're the ACC, if you're not willing to go down to the mat with this thing, you are very close to the mat. So while I don't think that, I think it's sort of inevitable where we're headed. The process and the timetable, I'm not so sure of, because if I'm the ACC, And I feel like the courts are going to rule that the grant of rights is ironclad. Florida State and Clemson, sure, you can leave, but your rights to your home games are going to be owned by the ACC. What incentive do I have to settle? Yes, I will get a short-term burst of money that I can distribute to everybody else, but from a media standpoint, like, you're kind of relegated to not oblivion, but you're kind of sitting there where the Big 12 is, which, like, we can sit here and debate who's the biggest brand in the Big 12 now. It's Kansas basketball, but football-wise, like, who is it?
Right.
And I think we could all answer that and have different answers. You know, I could think it's Oklahoma State. You know, we could think you could throw out Colorado, Utah. There's just a lot of different options because they're all about the same, and that's kind of where you're left with the ACC. Clemson and Florida State lead from a brand standpoint.
Dude, we appreciate it. We will see how it plays out. Real quick before you go, who do you think is the potential to be a good story for the ACC football season? Who do you kind of got in the back burner, back of your mind that could step forward? So
not the favorites that can step forward. I think it's probably NC State. It's a team that it's won 10 games one time in their entire history, and I think they got a really good team. That team won 9 games without an offense last year. Casey Concepcion was their offense. Like, he was the only thing. They couldn't run the ball. The quarterback play was less than stellar, and they had multiple guys doing it. And they were able to win 9 games off the strength of that defense. I think the defense takes a half step back, but the offense takes a massive step forward. Let's not forget, Grayson McCall was a 3-time player of the year in the Sun Belt.
Exactly.
Like, the dude's amazing.
Yeah, he comes from Coastal, and he's got a chance to step right in there. All right, dude, we appreciate it. Roddy Jones, you can definitely check him out. SiriusXM, ACC, and ESPN, the family of networks. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's XL Primetime. We keep it rolling. We're about to wrap it up, hand it off to the Francis Show for the 4 o'clock hour.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Satisfy your need for speed.
Look at this! Whoa!
It's NASCAR's All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro Speedway Sunday night. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on your NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lauren Brooks here for Hodges Mazda. Why buy from Hodges Mazda at the Avenues? Because they strive to ensure a satisfying and comfortable car buying experience. That's why the sales staff doesn't work on commission, allowing Hodges Mazda to put your best interests first. Whether you're looking for a brand new Mazda or a pre-owned vehicle, Hodges Mazda has a large selection to help you choose from. And every vehicle purchased from Hodges Mazda comes with 2 years free maintenance and free car washes for life. Now that is peace of mind. So visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com.
With over 60 years of dedicated service, Big Chief Tire has earned Jacksonville's trust by providing stress-free service at fair prices. Frank Frangie here. Whether you drive an electric vehicle or a traditional car, Big Chief carries the best tire brands for lasting quality. Their skilled technicians will install them quickly and have you back on the road in no time. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at one of those 5 Jacksonville locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Break free from the old school hassle at All Pro Roofing. They've revolutionized the game. And guess what? No more pressure, hassle, or time meeting with someone face to face for a roof quote. Unlock the power of an instant roof quote right from the comfort of your home. Get the information you need when you need it. Explore your roofing options today. Head over to allproofingllc.com. Hit that instant roof quote tab for a free instant roof quote. allproofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the window's down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 13, 2007, at the PGA Players Championship, American Phil Mickelson won by 2 strokes ahead of Sergio Garcia.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So the Florida Gators, we've been talking a bunch about them being on the football field and what's going on there, but they definitely have been busy beyond that, putting together a schedule. And RJ, if you have the details, give us an idea who they got. A little home-and-home action coming up as they put together their schedule under Todd Golden. Oh, I thought he had it. I thought you had it. Oh, I'm looking for it right now. I thought you had it.
I believe it's out.
All right. Well, that's my bad.
Everyone else in the SEC's tweeting about it.
All right. Well, I'm going to find this here in 1 second. I thought I had it. You know what? We can bring this part up as far as that just happened. This was a little bit earlier. Colorado transfer cornerback Cormani McClain has received expert predictions to land at Florida. Florida.
What do you congratulations.
Yeah, I know. Look, I don't even know. I don't know whether
Well,
that's
I'm happy for the kid because, listen, I mean, I don't want to say he got a bad rap.
Right.
But, you know, there was some things that said about him while he was at Colorado. And then, listen,
whether
they be true or not.
There were things said about him by his head coach. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah, but he had committed to one, then went to another, and then we all know that how did he play this last year?
He played very little.
Yeah,
he didn't.
So because according to Dion,
right,
he didn't go to class.
Didn't go to meetings.
He didn't go to meetings.
Yeah.
When he went to meetings, he didn't listen. He didn't watch tape. All coaches now, everybody gets an iPad, so all coaches know what you watch and how much you watch.
Yeah.
When he said he didn't watch tape, he meant he didn't watch any tape.
Well, I mean,
Kyler Murray.
He was immature.
Murray-ish.
He was immature,
Right.
And hopefully a change of scenery. The kid can. I'm always going to root for the kid.
Me too.
Always.
It's not that I'm not rooting for.
It
I thought it was
sounds
funny.
like
That's all.
No. All the stuff that Deion said about him was truthful.
Yeah.
And probably hurtful for him. And sometimes kids like that who come in, that are banner, the banner is waved, the 5-star, this and that. They come into some instances immature, maybe a change in venue, and a change of coaching staff can make.
I'll just admit that I worry whenever, like, say, Billy needs to strike some oil, find some gold, and that he might have given this kid what he needed NIL-wise so he could get him a big pluck. I don't know. We'll find out. I do hope, like you're saying, that Cormani says, you know what? Course change. I got to be a better player. I got to show up. I got to pay attention.
I don't think they paid him anything.
Yeah, they may not.
No, I don't think
you never know.
No,
you never know.
No way.
You never know.
So let me say this real quick. I got the schedule.
Yeah,
for
I
you,
got the schedule because I for whatever reason I had it in my head that RJ sent it to me, but it was coming from the Florida Gators side.
Right,
so home and home.
Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. There's only 3, so each of the SEC teams only get 3 home and homes.
Yeah.
Then you've got a group at home and a group away. The 6 home games are Missouri, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Vandy. The away games are Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, and Mississippi State. So the days of Florida and Kentucky playing home and home don't look like they're here.
Yeah, it's a bummer because you can look into all you really have to look at is just home games, and you can immediately see it does not include Kentucky. And your trips inside what was the SEC East. Remember, this is just straight standings in SEC basketball. But anyway, what was traditional SEC East was Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. At least you have the home and home for those, but you don't have Kentucky as far as a regular rivalry. And then the other 6, Matt, that you're mentioning, Ole Miss, Mizzou, Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, and Vandy, do they rotate, and how often do they rotate as far as coming in and out as far as home opponents versus away opponents?
My guess would be is the following year, the 6 you're playing at home will become
home and
6
away,
on the road.
But I guess my question
is,
is,
away will be 6 at home.
But when do new ones rotate in? Is it every 2 years after you do the home and away for each one of these?
Yes, I would
that
guess
makes
it's
sense.
every 2 years, right?
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And so at the very least, right now, your home games, if you're a Florida Gator basketball fan, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mizzou, Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, and Vandy.
You know, it's unfortunate because I think the dip in Florida basketball kind of took the shine off of the Florida-Kentucky rivalry, which was, prior to that dip, Florida and Kentucky was everything in that league in basketball. That was the game that everybody watched. It was it was always the last game of the season. It was always the last regular season game, I should say, on CBS, the national telecast. It was always that 3 or 4 o'clock game, whatever it was, and it's either in Gainesville or Lexington, and it was the big game of the year, and now it's no longer.
Yeah. So there you are. It's just this is what happens whenever new things come in. Old things go away. Change is not easy very often, no matter what we're talking about. And traditional rivalries are gone. At least a lot of them that we look forward to forever. So real quick, as we wrap this up from the ACC spring meetings, one thing that Mack Brown said that was pretty important is that, at least as far as he is concerned, more eyes are on college football, Leon. More people care about it. There's now 12 teams that get to play for the title. There's going to be more eyeballs on it. So anyway, there's some positives.
More money on it.
More money
for everybody.
Absolutely.
Once they figure it out.
Schools and players.
Yeah, the only thing that was concerning is the player movement. That's the whole thing. Players going to these different, jumping in the portals at different opportunities that could drive any coaching staff crazy.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we are done. We have to hand it off to the Frangie Show. I want to say thanks to the folks here, the ACC folks, and hopefully we'll have a couple more coaches. We have Mario planned in the 2 o'clock hour tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully we'll get Mike Norvell as well, along with a couple of other ones from the ACC here at the beautiful Ritz-Carlton. Thanks to Mocama Beer Company. They are here in Nassau County, Fernandina Beach right there on South 8th, and then their other Wildlight locations. You can check that out as well. And we'll be back tomorrow with a little ACC spring meetings action up here. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Leon Searcy. Thanks to RJ back at HQ for handling it. We got the Edge Show coming up next.